Yuhan R&D Institute is a dynamic pharmaceutical research hub that develops innovative new drugs. Our patient-focused approach to R&D positions Yuhan Corporation as an emerging leader and ideal international partner in the global pharmaceutical marketplace. In addition to creating quality pharmaceuticals, Yuhan scientists study the cutting-edge platform technologies that help create tomorrow's breakthrough medicines.
건강한 혈행을 위한 오메가3 프로메가, 건조한 눈, 기억력 개선까지 프로메가.
건강도 프로답게 관리하세요.
프로가 선택한 오메가3 프로메가.
종근당 건강.
Thank you so much. This is my first time and our first time in Korea ever. But I've learned something. I've learned 안녕하세요. All right. So yeah, it's been absolutely amazing for the last 3 days for us. This is the first time I'm in Asia ever actually. My colleague's been here before, and it was just absolutely incredible. Never seen anything like that. So thank you so much for hospitality and for coming today and being with us here. So I should say a couple words about the company. I will leave the majority of it for the later on, but we are biometric service and software solution providers. So we do two things really. First is our technological expertise in running clinical trials, which is providing data management and biostatistics services for, well, normally CROs or pharma companies, depends. And the second thing is the platform that we have developed. And actually, in our region, in Eastern Europe, we are the leaders, and we are a very well-known company in the world too. We work with 6 out of 10 biggest pharma companies in the world. And as we've been working with them throughout the years, we realized that there are certain myths and certain ideas about clinical trials market in Russia that's just not true. And we have no idea why it emerged in the first place, but we thought that it would be a good idea to start our trip and our expansion into Korea by debunking some of these myths, all right? So I'll start with this. There we go. Some myths and facts about Eastern Europe first. So, there we go. Actually, it will be a fun session, okay? So just relax and enjoy it because it will be fun. Myth number 1, global companies are afraid to come to Russia for whatever reason it might be. Some claim it is international landscape that makes starting clinical trials project, well, dubious in the region. Others claim that it is language differences and barriers, etc., etc. But the reality actually shows a completely different picture. Let's see. Right, we got this statistics from the Ministry of Health of Russia official report for 2018, and it states that actually, although this myth is all around the place, more than half of clinical trials in Russia are initiated by multinational pharma companies. And if we look in the numbers, well, from 654 clinical trials that's been launched in Russia, 385 are launched by sponsors coming from abroad. And if we look at the actual companies that are already there, you might find some familiar names over there, like the list is topped by Novartis, Merck, Roche, Janssen, etc. So American, Belgian, and Swiss companies. And these are only the ones that have launched 2 or more trials in Russia in 2018 alone. So, well, so that claims that everything's not true. Well, the whole thing is not true. Myth number 2, that's just wrong. Well, it sounds like this. It's hard to get patients to enroll in Russia. And when I first saw this thing right here, which is FDA now, which you all know about, Russia is actually a leader in the world in terms of clinical trials participants after the US. So we make more than 5.5% of all clinical trials participants in the world and placed as number 2. And well, that's a refreshment, you know, because, well, this myth's been going around for a long time now, and it's been demolished. Okay, let's move on. There we go. So, to be exact, according to Ministry of Health, it's almost 65,000 people who enrolled on clinical trials in Russia last year. Quite a big number. So, the enrollment is not a problem at all, and people are very actively enrolling. Okay, let's move on. There we go. That we're coming to myth number 3, which actually is the first one that has something that backs it up. Myth number 3, it is difficult to receive clinical trial approval in Russia. And yes, this is true for the most part, but the situation is getting better. First thing is that within the last years, we see this transition, and now Russia is part of GCP. So basically, all the standards are unified and work in perfect harmony. And secondly, we have companies like OCT, and I've got my colleague just right there named Olga, and these guys are leaders in, well, leading CRO in Eastern Europe, and they are prepared to take all the communication with Ministry of Health or any other regulator for the foreign companies. So there will be no boundaries, no problems. They will ensure that the project runs smoothly. And this is just a little quick idea of how many days it actually takes to receive a CTA. Well, as we found out in Korea, it's even faster. So good job, guys, but it's still one of the fastest CTA approvals in terms of, well, the world practice. Okay, this is my favorite slide right here. Technological backwardness in the region. I love this. This is me on Friday night, you know, so I like it. So this is my office. Well, just joking, this is not, there we go. Actually, like, technological backwardness was an issue at some point, and it's just not there anymore. In the last years, we've been witnessing a rapid transition to a completely new technological era, and internet is at the most parts of the country now, and so is the growing expertise in the field, and so is, well, basically the knowledge about the technology and everything, and so that makes it possible to launch projects that just weren't possible to launch before. And there we go. That's just a little insight in terms of IT industry market in Russia, and it's actually growing. So it's getting better, and the dialogue is definitely established, and we are getting there in terms of tech. And there we go. That's some of the evaluation we have from our experience throughout the years as we've been in contact with local CROs and pharma companies. In 2005, only about 20% were, well, at least considering conducting their clinical trials on e-clinical platforms, whereas now this number has jumped to about 80%. So, and many of them are already launched some. So it's a rapid change, and we expect this to change even more in the years to come. And myth number 5, the majority, that will be the last for today, the majority of studies are done on paper. And yes, it is so. Yeah, that's true. They do. But we see a big opportunities in here, right? Because, well, we've been the first company that launched the first ever ePro project in Russia and Eastern Europe. And that has turned out to be a big success. And the name of the company that we did it for is quite big, actually. So, well, it influenced others. That project was a big success, both financially and professionally. So it launched a whole new trend that we are witnessing over the past years. And more people are starting to turn to EDC and ePro. And here's some of the numbers of the CRFs that, well, we have completed to date. More than 25,000, actually 26,200 of them, right? And that leaves me to that imagine. I believe I can share a bit insight of who we are and what we do, where we're coming from exactly. Well, we are, as I said, biometrics and clinical trials services company. We started out as a data management department inside OCT company. Then we have developed our own platform, which has received some great feedback from industry professionals, and that made us consider going independent route and establish ourselves as a SaaS company that we are right now. We have offices, well, eventually in St. Petersburg, that's where our headquarters are. Also offices in Moscow, Germany, and US. And essentially, for the data managers worldwide, we provide our platform, which is called Matrix Cloud, and it has 7 modules: EGC, IWRS randomization module, trial supply, coding, laboratory, report module, and ePro. And throughout these days in Korea, actually, I've been here for 4 days now, we received some big interest about the ePro solution. So we decided to elaborate on it a little bit more. So ePro provides with opportunities such as offline work. So basically, this is one of the top-notch solutions that are there, and that's a brand new thing. So it allows to work offline. So, for example, when the patient submits, well, he still needs to do his questionnaires and diaries, and so he might be offline for the moment. But if he is, it's still not a problem because once you go online, it synchronizes with the whole database, so nothing gets lost. And also, well, obviously happy patients, happy everyone, and very easy to use, like designer. So for the actual professionals in the industry, it's very easy to design your own questionnaires and diaries. And saying that, but that's not all. Obviously, these are some of the most important functions, but it also looks gorgeous. And don't take my word for it. See how it works. Okay. Exactly. Right, can we give a round of applause for this? Because this is one of the best technologies I've ever seen, actually, in terms of the design and its functionality. Okay, so we as a company and developers of our April will be looking forward to continue to push the region in the right direction, not only in the way clinical trials are conducted in Russia, but also the whole philosophy behind it. So we teach, we grow, we explain, and we are looking, well, we are looking forward, right? Okay. So the next thing, and now I'm thinking this is the good place where I can tell you about some of the cases with the very well-known companies who in the region who were thinking to do their project in a standard way, but then changed their mind to EDCs and ePros and the outcome for it. So there was a case for AbbVie, and it was an NIS little trial. And as we all know, the requirements for NIS are normally smaller, and normally sometimes it doesn't even require EDC on it. But they decided to be a bit open-minded and went to EDC. And so it was a very small clinical trial, 1,000 patients, 6 sites, 15 months, and very low on budget. And so it turned out to be a big success for them because what we could offer is very clean data with 96 edit checks, very quick lock of the DB. It was bilingual CRFs. And as a result, they had very valid data, short study timelines, economy in the budget, and, well, they were very happy that they don't have to archive the paper CRFs for more than 1,000 patients, all right? So it was a win situation. Next case. All right, there we go. That's the wrong one. There we go. Next one was with Encoron. It was an eye-opener because this company tends to work only with EDC providers from US, and that was their first time ever when they started a clinical trial with US providers, and later on they realized that, well, they're not validated to submit their data to FDA, whereas we are both EMA and FDA validated. So they have decided at some point in the middle of the process to change to our EDC. And that was actually the first case, I think, ever, when the American company, well, they decided to change from American providers to us. And as a result, well, it was compliant. The deadlines were finally met, and everyone went happy. And so this is how we entered into US market, and we are there working successfully, okay? And this is actually a little preview of how our EDC looking like. So you got different modules on the left side, laboratory coding, serif design, AWS, and others. Okay? And so the last case, because running out of time a little bit, but last case for today would be the one that we cannot disclose just yet. They've asked us not to, but I'm sure you know the name of this company. It's one of the biggest one in the world. And actually, that was very big because that was actually the case when they have decided. Well, they've been looking for ADC and ePro, and that was their first ever experience with ePro with the local market. And so there was no local providers of ADC apart from us, and they had many concerns. The main ones were, what if these devices would fail to work? Other was actually based on the myth of technological backwardness, like what if investigators and patients will refuse to work with devices? They will be unknown for them. And so it all turned out wrong, and at the end, everyone was super happy, especially with this line right here, when it says that we've, well, managed to reduce their budget almost by 4 times, 400%. Mostly, it was attributed to the shortened monitoring hours, which there were much less now. So they were also very happy and, well, satisfied investigators because they didn't have to do the data entry from paper to EDC as it normally is. So, as a result, of course, because everyone was happy, well, we were happy, and that was a proper win-win situation right here. So now, data metrics coming to Asia and Pacific. We got our friends right here with us today already, and we are decided to come to Asia and stay for good. That is our plan. So after this session right here, we'll be looking to translate the version and release it in Korean language, and that will be our starting booth for further expansion in the region. And our plans are even bigger, so we will translate it. Then we will be looking to find collaboration opportunities with different CROs in the region, which is going to end in local representation finally. So Datametric is going to open an office in Korea too, eventually. So these are the plans for Asia. And of course, you can reach us out. These are some of the, well, generic emails. Well, let's switch to that one. This is more interesting. There we go. That's mine. Okay. So that's mine. So just write me if any questions, if any comments, if any concerns, or to sign up for a demo so we can get our heads of data management for you and explain it in more detail. Also, if you have any regulatory questions or any questions on Eastern European clinical trials market, you can ask my colleague Olga over there, an expert, and also my colleague Yekaterina over there, that she can do it too for you, a lot better than I will. Okay? And at the very end, I think this is it. We've been quick, but, well, got more room for your questions too if you have any. You can either ask now or just, we'll be around here for some time, and so just come by and ask if any.
So any questions from his presentation and any comments? No?
No? Well, all right, guys. If so, we'll be around. And so if you have any requests, just let us know. We'll be happy to talk with you. And thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
You so much.
Thank you very much.
아기에게 라투핏 핏핏핏핏 아이들도 라투핏 핏핏핏핏 우리 가족 라투핏
맞춤형 생유산균
내 몸에 피 라투핏 종근당 건강
당신이 밀려오는 두통을 참고 있을 때 당신의 친구들은 밀려오는 음악에 몸을 맡기고 있다.
두통? 참으면 당신만 손해. 참지 말고 즐겨라. 펜잘